and where it is kept. And we said it is stored in a warehouse. We talked about the story of Mukwano, sunflower, where it comes from, all the way from a seed to cooking oil. And we said it is stored in a warehouse, all the way up to consumption when it turns into cooking oil. So let's look at warehouses. What is a warehouse? From our discussion last week, we can see that it's a link between the producers of the seeds to the consumers of cooking oil. In all the supply chain, upstream and downstream, you find warehousing is involved. You store the sunflower as a raw material in a warehouse. You bring it to the distributor, stored in the warehouse, comes to the factory in a warehouse, as work in progress, it's in the warehouse, as the finished good of cooking oil is in the warehouse, and even as the consumable good in the supermarket, it is stored. That is what warehousing does. When we look at warehousing as storage, keeping materials, safe custody, that all is warehousing. And it falls under the warehousing department, which may fall under the inventory department, depending on the structure of the organization. So the warehouse keeps these materials, receives them in the conditions they come in, keeps them safely away from long or short hands, away from rodents, in good condition. And that's why we're emphasizing safe keeping. And after receiving, when it comes to the downstream activity, it issues the goods to be used by the final user. All this is happening in the warehouse. Now, all organizations store things. Let it be a big organization, let it be a small organization, let it be our home where we're staying. We all store things. We store things in reserve when we fear scarcity. We store all these products in stores. Rice, sugar, salt, all these are inventories. Depending on the kind of organization, the definition will vary. Others will call it a storeroom, others a stockroom, others will call it a warehouse. Let's look at this organization here. This is what it looks at its storeroom, keeping paper, keeping computer appliances, things like toner, all those are stored inside here. What strikes you here in this warehouse is that look at the usage of all the space. And that's one of the features of warehouse, using every square inch. And how are they doing this? By putting up these shelves that you see, different shelves, so that they can utilize the space. Now, this is a small company. Another company, for example, you're looking at the National Medical Stores of Uganda, would look at such a structure as a warehouse, because they are keeping drugs that are going to be distributed throughout the whole of the country to all the health centers, to all the hospitals, all being kept here. Hence, needing a very huge warehouse for this activity to take place. Organizations like MTN, World Food Program, you would find them having such structures like this here as their warehouse. These are vast structures and they need a lot of resources to manage them. So like we said, warehouses vary depending on the company. And what are they used for? Number one is storage of goods, storage for safe custody. This storage is very important to keep goods in good condition, so that at the end of the day, replenishment can take place. This storage may be permanent or semi-permanent. Semi-permanent means the good comes in and after the requisition and it goes out. It may be in form of safety stock or buffer stock. We shall come across this as we advance in this course unit. Why do we store products? There are so many reasons why we store products in a warehouse. Some products are demanded seasonally. For example, we have just come out of the festive season. You will observe that in the festive season, things like cakes are demanded highly, which means flour is also demanded highly, which means sugar is demanded highly because all these ingredients are used to make cakes. Sodas are demanded highly. Other products are stored for conditioning to get them in a very good condition. For example, maybe fruits, meat. You want it to condition into a certain, and then it is consumed. Then others are stored because of speculators who think that prices are going to go up. So they store and hoard so that prices can go up. Right now, there's a ban from Kenya on our maize, which means the demand is going to go low, the price is going to go low. Now, speculators will buy this maize and store it waiting for a day when the prices go up. Others store because of special discounts. There are special discounts that people give for goods, and you store when the prices are down. There may be a 30% discount. People store. So there are so many reasons why people store. What do we use these warehouses for? One of the activities we use this for is product mixing. What is product mixing? Now, if you look on your left here, we have three suppliers, A, B, and C, all manufacturing different products. Supplier A manufactures A, B, C, D. Supplier B manufactures products E, F, G, H, and supplier C, I, J, K, L. Now, whom are they supplying these products to? To different customers, A, B, C, D. What are the requirements of the different customers? You will find that customer A requires one good from supplier A, which is B, one good from supplier B, which is product H, and one good again from supplier B, which is F. Now, these items from A and B are going to come to this warehouse and be mixed from this warehouse so that you can be able to deliver to supplier to customer A products B and HF from two different suppliers. This is the mixing we are talking about, product mixing, which is a very, very important activity. Same story with customer B. He wants a product from two products from now from customer B, all of them are from one supplier who is supplier A. But you will observe that he doesn't want item number B from supplier A. So when they come to the warehouses, they remove item B and then supply it to customer. So this is the product mixing we're talking about. Just like you go to a warehouse, to a store, buy a torch, buy batteries, then buy maybe a towel, all from different suppliers, but they're mixed in a warehouse. Bulk breaking. What is the bulk breaking activity? Bulk breaking activity is an interesting activity. In a warehouse, you will find shipments coming in very huge units. For example, in a bale or in a container, a 24-foot container. However, the requirements by the customers, they don't want them in these huge quantities of a container of 24 feet. They would want these broken down maybe in bales or even into shots. You have a whole carton of maybe salt. How many customers buy a carton of salt? But when they are coming into the warehouse, they're coming as a huge unit. But in the warehouse, they break them down into smaller quantities because customers have different requirements. Customer A may want to buy only one packet of salt. That means you have to break it from a carton of salt into one packet of salt. Customer B may want two packets of salt. You have to break it from a carton of salt, two packets of salt on the shelf. And customers are very different. If you will observe, we all buy cooking oil from the supermarkets, from shops. How do these arrive in these shops? In big boxes. But then, when in the shop, they are broken down into smaller quantities to satisfy different demands. This is the bulk breaking activity. Other warehouses are used for the consolidation activity. Now, consolidation is about bringing goods together from, it's more of product mixing, but now in larger quantities. Goods come in from different suppliers into the warehouse, and then they are consolidated. What do we understand by this? Let's look at our mobile phones that we have. You're holding a mobile phone. And how did you buy that mobile phone? It had a charger, it had an earplug, it had maybe a cover. Now, the manufacturer of a phone does not make the charger, does not make the battery, does not make the cover, does not make the earphones. These all are coming in from different suppliers, as we see here. Below we have the supplier of earphones, the supplier of the battery, the supplier of the charger, and the phone manufacturer. When they bring them into this warehouse, they consolidate them into a box, and you have one phone. A pack of a phone, it has been consolidated. Then on top of that, these phones are going maybe to Africa or to Uganda in one shipment. They are later consolidated into one container full of phones, and then they're shipped away to Uganda. This may happen with phones, laptops, all these. And that's the consolidation activity we're talking about. Cross-docking, a very interesting activity where goods come into a store and there is no actual storage. The way they come in, they are worked on, and straight away they go out of the warehouse. So cross-docking is another activity whereby you have a storeless, and it's facility which doesn't actually store overnight products. As they come in, they are sorted, consolidated, separated, and they go out. It happens a lot with products which have very short life cycles. For example, the fruit industry, the vegetable industry, the flower industry. And we're going to have a conversation in the next video about cross-docking. So, the traditional functions of warehouse, we said, goods come in, they are received. A goods received note is issued, which we refer to as a receipt. You check for the quality. Have they delivered the right quality, the right quantity? You store them. But after storing them, again, you disburse them because someone will come in requiring a product from the store. For example, paper or pen. That is the dispersing activity. The packaging of products at times. We have talked about the packaging of phones. They come in different single units and are packaged into a pack of phones. Put away is the actual storage in the warehouse where goods have come in and then you store them in a particular location where you will be able to identify them in case of need. That is the put away part of it. You store and then you look for safety purposes in the warehouse. Like I said, cross-docking, we are going to have an activity about cross-docking very soon. Unitization is putting items in packs. Part of the packaging we talked about is done in units. For example, sodas. When a soda is manufactured, how is it packed? It is packed in a crate. A crate of soda has 24 bottles. And so you look at the crate as a unit. A pack of mineral water may have 12 bottles, a dozen bottles. And you look at that as a unit. Unitization helps with packaging and transportation. It's a movement. So I am going to share with you later this video of Jumia, and we see how warehousing function adds value.